welcome listeners to another episode of the Pottscast. This is a YouTube edition, and I am welcoming back a podcast favorite, one of my previous guests. It is Ali Zebian. Ali, welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Delighted to have you back on. I know it's been maybe about 9 months or so now. What's been happening with you in the last sort of 9 months or so? Has anything changed in your life? What's going on?
Well, I've been running smoothly, still with the same routines and still training with the MMA and everything, and just trying to keep fighting. And it's been a little rough, It's been a little rough trying to get a fight. But I'm still pursuing the same goals and going on and steadily climbing, steadily climbing.
Absolutely. And I think one of the things that I've noticed from following you on social media and stuff like that is the underground gym, MMA underground. Tell me how that's growing, because I'm seeing loads of new guys come in, loads of people going through their paces and going through the amateur ranks and all that sort of stuff. What's happening at the gym?
So, because of COVID, we haven't been able to get the amateur guys moving as much, but the JV guys, which are below them, we've been getting them a lot of fights in the local area, having them get some experience so they eventually will go to the amateur league. But that's been going good with them, so that side of things is good. And then we had the trainee program. We just finished it up. Group 102 just graduated literally Friday. So they're going to be coming in now, working with the advanced guys like me and everybody. So we're just getting more people in and trying to, the right people as well, and trying to have them build with us. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And it seems to be going really well for you. I'm seeing so many young guys come in and they seem to be enjoying it. They seem to be working hard. Your classes seem to be busy, which is great for you. How are you enjoying it? Are you enjoying seeing these younger guys come in and going through the different steps?
I mean, I like this group. This was our second training group, and it's a 3-month program. And this group really they shine. They really shine, and they came in already having a little bit of experience, just from natural abilities, and maybe some of them had some other things, but they really pulled through. They showed up to every practice, and in the end, it really showed. Like when they fought at the end, we have them fight each other at the end, like one round. They looked like amateur fighters to me, and I was shocked, and I was really proud of that. That was a good moment for me and for the team. So, just having them come through is going to help build our team. And I'll be honest, like our amateur guys, they haven't been showing up as much to the practices. So we'll have someone basically fill their shoes, you know what I mean? And we'll just keep going, that's what we want to do,
Yeah, and as you said, it adds to your team as well. It says a lot about yourself, your team, the guys you have around you, that this is happening for you. And it certainly, it's great for the future and the future of the sport.
Yeah, definitely.
And one of the things I want to touch on is the last time you fought was in Bellator. You got that big win in Bellator, and then really the lockdown really killed a lot of momentum for a lot of fighters. And I know that like Bellator themselves, they had no crowd and all that kind of stuff. With the crowd coming back and then beginning to open up again, are you confident of getting your foot back in that door at some stage?
Well, here's the thing about Bellator, and I would love to fight for Bellator again. And the thing about that is they offered me this opponent. He was a guy from Russia, and long story short, they could not get a visa for him. And this was actually the third time I've been matched up with this opponent, not just from Bellator, but twice from Bellator and once from another thing. And they were trying to get me on that, and then they offered me another opponent. I'm not going to call out anybody, but they didn't accept the fight, and I saw them just fight the other day, a lesser opponent than me. So they pick it sometimes when you're what is it called, have a contract with Bellator, like a 4-fight deal. They'll work with them a little bit more so that they'll be able to fight who they want. And that's kind of how that case went. And for me, I just got pushed to the side. And I do have a fight coming up, but it's actually with Cage Titans. It's a local promotion. So with Bellator, I'm still working towards it, but I'm not signed yet. If I was signed, then I'd be set. You know what I mean? But that's what we're working towards, either to be signed by them or of course UFC. You know what I mean? That's what I'm working towards.
Absolutely. And I think one of the things we're going to touch on is Cage Titans, because you do have that fight coming up in June. You do have, You do have that opponent, Peter Barrett, I believe, is the opponent that's coming up. Someone that people should know in the MMA world, should be quite
Of
familiar
course.
with. He's fought in the UFC, things like that. How did this opportunity come around? And did you know when you were signing on the dotted line who you would be facing at that stage, or was it very much just give me anybody I want to fight?
It's a little bit of give me anybody, but at the same time, one of my managers hit me up about it, and he said there's Cage Titans is coming back, and I'm like, I'm ready. I'm ready for anything. I always stay ready, and when they gave me the opportunity, they didn't even tell me who it was. They said they gave me a date, and I'm like, yeah, let me like find something for me. They found me this, and I thought it was a great opportunity. And he's a UFC veteran, and he fought in the UFC a few times, so it's going to be a great look for me. It's going to be a great opportunity, and Cage Titans is a great promotion, honestly, in the local area. I mean, it's a smaller promotion, compared to Bellator, but in the area, it's one of the best for Massachusetts. So, I'm lucky to be working with them.
Really looking forward to seeing that fight. And as you mentioned, it's a local promotion and it's one of the best ones, and you're excited to kind of get in there. You mentioned he's
Yeah,
fought twice. He's fought twice in the UFC. He was in Dana White's Contender Series as well, I
yeah,
believe, if I done my homework correctly.
yeah,
Is this a fight you're excited for as well? Because you mentioned earlier on that like a fighter turned you down, and something that when I spoke to a
yeah.
different UFC fighter, he talked about, it frustrates him whenever it, in a way, it looks like certain companies or maybe management are protecting fighters in a sense.
Oh yeah,
Um,
oh
from
yeah,
from your point of view, because your wrestling background, and nobody likes to go up against anyone with a wrestling background, especially one
yeah, yeah.
thorough as yours. Has that been a frustrating factor for you?
Oh, I mean, it certainly is. I mean, especially since my last fight was in November, and that's almost a 6 month gap, and I do not like that. I don't like that because you know you only have so much time. You know what I mean? And I kind of made this analogy last night. I made it up as like when you're training and stuff, you're going to it's like you're going to the grocery store buying all this food, and you're putting it in the cabinet and everything, and over time that food's gonna get expired. You know what I'm saying? So you need to make new recipes and stuff for these fights, and if you're just sitting on the shelf, you're gonna expire. So I want to be active. You know what I'm trying to say? I want to keep moving. So for me, it has been frustrating. It's like especially when the opponent is on your caliber level and they on the same level and they don't want to take it. It's just like, come on. And the crazy part about it is the guy he fought, the one who turned me down, the guy he fought my last opponent and they went to a tie. If that makes sense, you know what I'm saying? So it's just crazy how things work in this industry, and it's annoying. It's annoying, and but eventually, I'm gonna keep rising up, and when I do make it to the UFC level, or maybe I get signed with Bellator, I'll have that constant, work and just keep building. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's what the goal is. Yeah.
It's that progression, isn't it? And for you, it's really about just getting your foot in the door and being seen, because the talent is there, the work rate is there. You live and act and work and do every day as a professional. You're already living the lifestyle. It's just the opportunity. And I think
Yeah.
this fight at Cage Titans gives you that opportunity, because Peter Bar,
100%.
he's a big name. He's well known. People are looking at it. You're looking at it. This is your next opponent. What can we expect to see in there? What do you want to see from yourself going into this fight?
Well, for me, I definitely want to see a little bit of a change. You're going to see a little bit of a change, a different approach for sure. And I like to stay unpredictable. You know what I mean? In my fights, and that's what everybody will see. It's gonna be different. And I will say this: I want a finish. I want a big finish, and easier said than done against an opponent like this. But my last two fights have been lackluster, in my opinion, and that's just because of the corona. And I don't want to make excuses, but I want a big statement in this fight. I really do. I want to make a big statement, and and make a big noise, all that, you know what I mean? So, just to make up for like the last two fights, I feel like they were a little lackluster. Like when I fought in my previous Cage Titans fight, I was ready. I had 3 months training camp, or even 2 months. I had 2 months, and I was fully prepared, and I showed myself, and I learned a lot from that fight. And then as the Corona went, all my last two fights were all either 2 week notice or 1 week notice. If I wasn't able to show my true skills, and in this fight, I'm gonna show that. I'm gonna show my true skills. I'm gonna show how my conditioning is superior, and I want to make a shock the world, shock the audience, shock everybody. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to do.
Fingers crossed for you. I believe in you. I know the work ethic that you do. I see your Instagram and your socials every day. You're there, you're working hard, you're giving it 100%. No reason why that can't happen. And there's no reason
100%.
you go in there with 100% confidence and self-belief and motivation. We are a couple of weeks out from that fight. How's your weight coming along? Have you started dieting? Are you worried about anything like that at that stage? Or is that bread and butter for you at this stage?
Well, to answer that question, I was just with my friend at the buffet. But actually, the thing about that fight is, unfortunately, I don't know if you heard the news, but I believe it got pushed back to July 11th, which I'm kind of mad about. But okay. It actually got pushed back to July 11th. I don't know if they made that public yet. I don't even know if I'm supposed to say that, but it has been pushed back till July 11th. And for me, I'm just so ready to fight, and I'm just like, come on, I gotta wait more time, And I recently just had a wrestling tournament, and I had to train hard for that. So I'm already prepared. I'm ready. I'm ready to just keep the ball rolling. But they're gonna push it back a few weeks. That's fine. I gotta do what they gotta do. And it's because of the COVID. Because originally they wanted to have it in the area that they wanted to have it. They can only have 200 fans. But now, if they wait a little bit longer, they'll be able to put it in a big arena and have more fans. So that's the thing about that.
I mean, that's always good. More friends, more family, more people can go, more tickets, all that sort of stuff. More eyes on this fight, because it is a big fight, not only for you, but it's a big fight for him as well. And I think going into it, yes, we do have to wait a little bit longer. And I think that's probably your biggest obstacle, because you're ready at every front, and it's the waiting game is probably going to be the hardest thing for you, is what it seems.
For sure. I mean, the waiting, it gets, especially in this sport, when you've been training and your heart is beating hard, and it's you can't keep that up all year. You know what I mean? I can train all year, but I can't keep that high level of intensity and high level of cardio all year. I mean, you got to be a freak. I mean, like some kind of like special athlete for that. I don't think anybody does that in the UFC, honestly. Of course, I keep my shape, I keep my muscle, I don't get fat. Of course, I don't get fat or anything like that. But to keep the high level of extreme conditioning, you have to, that comes in spurts. You know what I mean, throughout the month. And I want to keep that up for now. And by July 11th, I'll reach the pinnacle and show what I got. You know what I mean, and hopefully get a finish in this fight. And I really need a finish, because that's what UFC wants. That's what these big companies really want. And why? Because the fans love it. You know what I'm saying? That's what the fans want, So.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it just draws eyes to it. Did you see that knockout? It's easier to go viral. It's easier just to put eyes on that product whenever you spark somebody out or whatever. You mentioned about it's been frustrating for you because you haven't fought since last November. You've done the wrestling tournament a couple of weeks ago. You have a fight coming up in July 2021. The rest of this year, I assume you want it to be a very busy year for you fight-wise.
Yes. I am ready to just keep fighting. The thing is, I'm hopefully, hopefully I win this fight, I want to take on Joe Giannetti, which is, I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's a local guy, and he's very familiar with the Cage Titans. Everybody knows him from that. And I want to go from Peter, beat him, and then I want to fight Joe Giannetti, and hopefully from there, that's where I get my call. If not, I'll keep going till I get the call. You know what I mean? Who knows? Sometimes you just got to keep going. But Joe Giannetti, that's the next one after this.
Absolutely.
For sure.
I remember you mentioning, Joe, the last time that we had the conversation. And what I want to say to any of our listeners that are listening to this right now, if you haven't heard our first podcast, drop me a message, DM me. I can give you the links directly to it. It is on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. It's at the Pottscast with 2 T's in the Pottscast. You can find that conversation. It was one of my favorite conversations that I've done so far. It was a lot of fun. And something that you mentioned there about just keeping going, just to get into the UFC and to get into Bellator. One of the guys that I've spoke to shortly after you was a guy called Kevin Krum, and he was 31 years old before he got the call to go to the UFC, and he won his debut inside 30 seconds with a knockout.
Wow.
And the thing with Kevin was he thought that opportunity was never going to come. And the first time he got the call, he went down to Vegas, tested positive for COVID. They just sent him home, and he thought, it's over. And he just stayed ready, kept working the same way you're doing. And that phone rang a second time on the Thursday, and he had to get there by Friday to fight Saturday. And he was ready. The way you're doing, he was ready. And I think that's something that I think should encourage you in the way that you're preparing, in your mindset, because it's been a tough 6-7 months for you since November, waiting for fights and people pulling out and stuff. But the opportunity is always there in this crazy, unpredictable sport. And I can't wait to see you in July getting back in there.
Oh yeah, thank you. But yeah, you are right. It is very crazily unpredictable with what's going on right now, and even in the even a few months ago, you just gotta stay. It's a weird thing to stay ready for nothing, but then you might get a call. So like that guy happened, you might get a call, and it's like it's playing in the dark. You just playing in the dark basically. You know what I mean? But some people get lucky with it. Like for example, my Bellator fight was only a 1 week notice, so I was ready, I was training, so I took the opportunity and I won. So it is what it is right now.
That's the big thing in this crazy sport, isn't it? The opportunity. And
yeah.
I'm hoping that more opportunities come your way, because you're a phenomenal fighter, phenomenal athlete. The work ethic, the professionalism, everything is there. And I think it's just the opportunity is what's missing for you. And I can see that's probably the most frustrating factor in your side. It's like, just give me a fight.
Yeah. That's really what it is. That's really what it boils down to. Is like, I got, I like I said, I've been going to the grocery store. I've been buying all my food. And in this sport, you don't just buy things. You have to pay with your blood. You have to pay with your tears. You have to pay with your sweat, everything. So I've been doing that, and I don't want my labor to go to waste. You know what I mean? I don't want any of that, and it's not going to. But that's how my mindset is, because we start to get antsy. We start to get a little frustrated. But I'm still keeping sane. I'm still training. Like I said, those wrestling tournaments and stuff have kept me busy. I was really grateful to have that. Shout out to one of my boys he was the one who gave me all the details and told me all about it. And from there, I've been seeing other wrestling tournaments that are coming this summer. So I'm hoping to do a few of those as well. That's what it keep me busy and stuff.
Absolutely. Keep the body ticking over, keep you fresh, keep the mind engaged while you're waiting for these fights to come up. But Ali, this has been really good catching up. This is a quick one. We just wanted to catch up about your fight in July. Really excited to see it happen. Wish you the best of luck. And as I said, if you haven't heard our first interview, our first conversation, send me a message, look it up on Spotify, Apple, Google, etc., and find that conversation, because it's excellent. There's been over 670 listens to that first one already. Phenomenal conversation. So Ali, once again, thank you for taking 25-30 minutes out of your busy time to jump on and chat with me ahead of the fight. Wish you the best of luck and can't wait to see it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.